Let me whisper in your ear.
Everybody tells me that it's so hard to make it, it's so hard to break it, and there's no way to fake it. Everybody tells me that it's wrong what I'm feeling, I shouldn't.
Fellow video living freaks, I am Megabetta, and today we are going to be reacting to Mr. Nightmare 3 Scary True Forest Horror Stories. And the thing is, I have seen some of Mr. Nightmare's videos before, not a lot, but a good amount, to know that he is very good at what he does. So, also, I've had my fair amount of terrifying events that happened with me in the forest. Not because I live by one, because I'm like in a small town, and it's like nothing going on here, no creepiness to explore, and it's very boring. Anyways, what I meant to say is, because every time I went camping with my parents, I always somehow ended up alone. Whether they would leave me, my dog would leave me, and it was just me, terrified, in the woods, alone, scared of some freaking Freddy Krueger looking mother coming out with a chainsaw, gonna tear me up into little itty bitty pieces. But enough of my psychologically scarring moment of my childhood. Let's get to the video. Oh, when it's anonymous, it's gonna be extra scary, and you already know it.
Every so often when we were little, our parents would go away for a weekend while our Uncle Ron would watch us.
Not Uncle
Ron
Ron.
has been single his whole life, but he always loved kids.
Me.
So he always happily did it.
That's a little...
One Friday night,
disturbing.
the same night our parents left town, we were all watching Titanic during a monster snowstorm. Me, my two brothers, my older sister, and our Uncle Ron.
Sorry.
I remember certain parts of this night so vividly, but other parts I just draw blanks. I do remember, however, that the power flicked off briefly, and we had to reset the VCR to get back to where we were in the movie. Shortly after that, our Uncle Ron was fast asleep. We let him sleep while we kept watching the movie. It was at the part where Rose was running with the axe back to the room that Jack was trapped in. One of my brothers was coming back from the bathroom, and on his way, he went outside for whatever reason, likely just to look at the snow. He came back inside yelling for us to come take a look at something. Starved for a little excitement, I guess, the three of us ran to the back door. We could see what he was talking about now.
What?
There was a set of footprints in the snow.
Oh, hell
Led from the back door, then to the
no!
window, and then back in the direction of the yard and woods. To make the matter even more eerie, he said he heard the back doorknob turn. Our sister, even though she was the oldest by 3 years, ran inside freaking out. My brothers and I, on the other hand, were kind of excited by it and wanted to follow the footprints.
Why does that sound like me? I wouldn't want to follow them, though.
Threatening to wake up our Uncle Ron as she
in a
saw
way
us
you
putting our
have
coats
to.
and boots on. But I convinced her it'd be fine and we weren't going too far, and that we'd be together.
You could always
She
separate.
went back to the living room to watch the movie without us, while we
possibility.
all marched out into the cold snowstorm, following the footprints that were quickly filling in with new snow. The footprints led to the woods in the backyard. The deeper into the woods we got, the deeper the footprints were. We weren't sure if that was because less snow was falling to the ground under the trees, or because the footprints were fresher. We were following those footprints for a while, until finally, we saw where they were leading to.
Where?
A cabin, literally tucked away in the woods.
A cabin in the woods?
It was
Are you
dark
kidding me?
inside,
A cabin in the
no light
woods?
was emitting from the windows. The footsteps led to the front door of the...
Pause. A cabin in the woods. Almost every horror movie has a cabin in the woods, or an old abandoned mansion, or like a sawmill or something. If there's a random ass building in the middle of nowhere, it's not good. Okay, they said this is a true story. What the hell is wrong with these people? I don't care if you're excited. It's an abandoned cabin in the woods. The one with the cabin in the woods. No. Okay? Just no. Play.
The cabin, but we didn't dare go up to it.
Good.
Instead, we crept over to the closest window to peer inside.
Still bad.
It was too dark to see anything inside though, but we noticed it wasn't actually a glass window, it was just a screen. Then there were 2 thumps from inside of the cabin, and then the sound of something sliding. We didn't see what caused the sound though. Suddenly, one of my brothers screamed and pointed behind us. We turned to see a head poking out from another window of the cabin, but it was so dark, all we could see was blackness, no features.
Nope.
Then the
Hell
head
no.
disappeared from view as
Says
we heard
no,
rapid
no,
thumping sounds inside
no.
the cabin, and then the front door to the cabin burst open. We all screamed and
What the-
ran for our dear lives back in the direction
What?
of the house,
Hold
following
on. What was that noise? What was that? It's creepy. We're going back.
the cabin burst open. We all screamed.
What is that? That scared the cat out of me. The cat. Mr. Nightmare. I like it, but I also don't like it because it got to my soul. You don't be playing with me like that. Okay.
And ran for our dear lives back in the direction of the house, following the footprints. I don't think we were actually chased though. The next day, we tried taking our Uncle Ron on a hike to that cabin, but we couldn't for the lives of us find it. The creepiest thing to this day, we still live in the same house, and after all these years, we still never came across that cabin again.
Why would
In
you
fact, we can't
stay?
even find it on maps or Google Earth. If it weren't for the fact that I was with my 2 brothers, I would question if this ever even happened.
Why would you stay at that house? Move, damn it, move. Okay? Again, Cabin in the Woods, horror
My
movie,
friends, who I
101.
refer to as S and J, came along with me on a little camping trip near Blue Mountain National Park. We set up camp near a small pond, just
What are you
because
doing,
it seemed
bro?
like the coolest place to chill. The point of this whole trip was mainly just to get out, drink a bunch of beers with friends, and chill. I cracked open my second Budweiser, laughing it up with S and J, talking about some of our other friends, with music playing in the background, overall just having a good time. Then, however, I saw S reach over for the speaker and turn it down all the way, and then shushed us and pointed out to the pond. S whispered, "Do you guys see that?" Jay and I looked out to the pond.
See what?
The campfire had a glow that partially reflected on the pond water, but even yet, I couldn't see what he was pointing at. S whispered, "There's something in the water." I went into the tent to get the flashlight from my bag. When I came out, S said don't, but I turned it on anyway and aimed it at the pond. The light didn't reveal anything or anyone, but we did all hear the sound of water being pushed, as if someone or something were walking in it. I turned out the light just because I was freaked out and looked at my 2 friends, who were both wearing cringing faces. I told S to shut off the
Like that?
speakers completely now.
That's my cringe face.
We all sat in our chairs, not really saying much anymore, just listening to the surroundings. About an hour passed, and within that time, nothing happened. So we grew more comfortable again, and things went back to normal. Eventually, I went to my tent, and S and J went to the tent that they'd be sharing, and we all went to sleep.
At least you're not in separate tents.
Now that I was alone with my thoughts, however, I started thinking of that thing that S said was in the water. He never actually described what
Maybe it was
looked like,
Aquaman.
if it was an animal or a person. My sense of hearing was heightened as I was
Maybe
in
it was a
state of
mermaid.
alert, and
Ooh, a
because of that,
mermaid.
I
They're
heard something
nice.
from the woods.
Not really.
I sat up, since that always seems to help with concentration. I needed
Does
to
it?
hear one
I need
more
to try
sound
that.
before I could confirm something wasn't right. There was the sound again, much closer now, and I was able to confirm it was a foot hitting the ground. Whether it was a person's foot
It's at
or an
this
animal's foot
point
was still
when
unclear,
you have
however.
2 options.
I heard another footstep, this time much closer.
You either go full psycho crazy on the dude, where you run out of the tent going like, "Jump! Try not to jump!" Or Um, or you hide in there like a little bitch and wait for the footsteps to pass over, which they probably won't, and if they do, it's only briefly. So, be a psycho or be a normal person and get killed. The lesson here, children, be a psycho. Don't be normal. Continue.
It was clear someone or something was sneaking around our campsite. There was one final footstep. It was really close to the tent. I started texting S, but I was only able to type out the words, "There's something," before the gut-wrenching, blood-curdling scream pierced through the walls of the tent.
Hold on.
I couldn't tell if it was the scream of a man or a woman. It's hard to explain, but it was deep enough where it could be a man, but not so deep to the point that it couldn't be a woman. The scream lasted about 5 seconds. Then there was silence. I didn't know if I should get out, call for my friends, or stay silent. I texted S, "Dude, we have to run." He responded, "What was that?" I didn't answer right away. I grabbed the keys from my bag.
Are you sure the coast is clear?
And sprinted to the car, which luckily was only about 30 seconds away.
Well, that's
We stayed in the car
lucky.
all night and went back the next morning for our stuff, which luckily was all still there.
You know, in horror
Still
movies,
have
the
no
car's
idea
like
who
an hour
or even
away.
dare to say what that thing was at our campsite that night. Just happy we got out okay.
The creature from the Blue Lagoon? Is that what it's called? Black Lagoon? Something Lagoon? Insert color here, Lagoon. Still, that's what I'm referencing.
Skipping
Ooh, I
most
like
of the
this.
background
I like
of the
this
story,
backdrop.
I once found myself walking through the woods during a slight drizzle. All I had on me was my backpack with a spare pair of pants, a flashlight, a tripod and camera, and some granola bars. I'm a photographer and video editor, and I was recording footage of a forest during rain, a river during rain, and snagging some pictures as well.
Okay.
Long story short, I found myself lost, trying to find my car. It was the worst day of my life.
You
I was
poor
panicking,
thing.
stressed, screaming to myself in anger, just wanting to find the car. I'd say an hour after getting lost, I
We've
started
all
to
been
pick
there,
up on
man.
noises around me. I
Story
don't mean
time at the end of
multiple
this.
Noises at once. I mean, at times I'd hear the same noise, just on different sides of me. The noise was footsteps, undeniably.
I'd be
I was
paranoid
starting
as
to
hell.
panic that I was being hunted by a bear. That was only at first, though.
Paranoid
I
is
slowed down
good.
to quiet my own footsteps so I would more likely hear where the other footsteps were. And when I did, I turned my head as quickly as possible in that
You're not aware of
direction.
your surroundings anymore.
I saw half a person's body jumping behind a tree.
Where's the other half?
Instead of calling out
See,
something
like-
or confronting them,
Just
I did what I still think was the smart thing.
other half like
I
sawed
walked
off or
away
something?
fast, playing it off like I didn't see him.
Don't do that!
It was starting to get darker every minute now, and the rain was still coming down lightly, but my heart was racing faster than ever. I checked my phone every 10 seconds and finally got one bar. I stopped walking, wiped the screen of rainwater, and opened maps first thing to find the nearest road, which was very close. I let out a sigh of
Don't
relief,
stop walking.
only to hear footsteps closing in on me from behind. I turned and spotted the person again. It was a man, and I know that in of itself doesn't sound so
Oh,
disturbing.
I love the
just
effects
really
from the background.
sketchy. But I'm telling you, the sight was horrifying. I could only see the man briefly before he jumped behind a tree once again.
What did the man look
until I
like?
couldn't see him, but he looked huge. Really tall, average build, maybe a little overweight, jeans, and from what I could tell, a dark blue jacket with the hood up, half zipped down, exposing a white shirt underneath.
Maybe it's a werewolf.
He also
Wolf
had on
boy?
glasses, but that's all I got of his face. He was hiding behind a tree maybe 15 feet away, and over the sound of millions of raindrops, all I heard was psst, psst. Now I
No!
ran. I didn't care anymore. I
No.
was borderline about to have a panic attack.
Me,
continued
you and me
running
both,
and I
bro.
found the
Just
road.
take off running. I
ran
would
until
have.
I thought there was no chance of him catching up to me.
There you
Then I
go.
continued walking until I finally hitched a ride from a passing car, who took me back to where I was parked. I didn't bother mentioning what happened to the driver. I just told him I got lost is all. He went on his way as I got into my car and drove the half-hour trip
Might have
back
thought you were
home,
crazy. That's a good
all the
move.
while reflecting on what just happened and my life.
But you're still damn it! But you're still reflecting. So that was Mr. Nightmare, bro. Anyway, story time. This happened about a year ago. I was at the mall with two of my good friends. And when I was at the mall with two of my good friends, my dad was with us. We went shopping. First, we went to Hot Topic. We had lunch. That's pretty much all we did. There's only that one store that we really like. And then we when we left to go, it was about 6 or 7. No. It was far later than that because it was already dark out. It was sometime when it was dark. I think it was pretty late. And it was pouring. It was raining so hard, and we had to take shelter as my dad went to get the car for us. And he came back saying he could not find the car. And when he went out to actually go find it, like, me and my friends were stuck there underneath like the small roof of the building, because this was just at a mall. And luckily for me, because I was actually wearing a tank top at the time, I had actually bought a sweater at Hot Topic, so I got to wear that to keep it out of the cold. So lucky for me, I chose the right thing to buy. I was gonna just wear a freaking Supernatural, like, pop thing. I have an example, but I don't have it right now. Bingo! This is what I was talking about. I was gonna buy this, but instead I bought a sweater, and that sweater saved my cold little body that day. But and my dad was out there for a good longer than that, maybe 40 minutes to an hour. He was out there looking for the car, and he could not find it. And it got to the point where me and my friends, we didn't want to just stand there because we wanted to help him. Because if he was out there doing this by himself, it would have just taken forever. So we went out there trying to find the car as well. And we were out there running around searching in the rain. And after a certain amount of time, we got so frustrated trying to look for it in the rain, screaming up, like, why? Dramatic movie moment. And it took us 2 hours of searching for that car until we figured out we were in the wrong parking lot. The parking lot was on the other side of the mall. We came out the wrong way, and we were out there searching for 2 hours, wasted our time. And so when we went around, we found the car, and to apologize, he got us pizza, and then we just didn't talk about it again. Oh, good times. But yeah, that was my story time of how my dad effed up. Anyways, that was Mr. Nightmare, everyone. And again, fantastic work. Loved the stories. Loved the effects. Those were great. Scared the crap out of me with that one sound effect. The guy freaking whispering in your ear, like, hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. And so that was terrifying. But overall, great content. Great job on the video. I'm not just saying for the stories, but the amount of time he took to make the video, pretty sure it took a lot of time. I really appreciate that with people who take that much time. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below. Give this video a big thumbs up. And subscribe. Because more content, new videos every week, not every day. Because I just don't want to. I just don't. But for sure every week I will post new videos. Depending on what, leave some suggestions down in the comments because it takes me a while to try to find something that I think people would want to see. And subscribe to Mr. Nightmare because he's awesome. He's awesome. Subscribe to him. I'll leave a link to the original video down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. So, bye.